Hey, yo, what's up? You know this. It's the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. Like to welcome you guys back to another installment of the triple the guy speaks on. And this the RWBY Volume 5 winning weekend. And we start winning with this Yang character short because I appreciate this character short probably in a whole different way than a lot of people do. And of course, I'm going to explain why because I wouldn't have a mic if I wasn't going to explain why. Look, I appreciate this character short because it shows growth. And it's like each of the character shorts that came before this were representative of growth and change and evolvement before these characters. And this is especially important given that everything that Volume 3 and Volume 4 dragged Yang through is that we see a Yang that we first met, before we even met her, about how straight lines are everything, brute force is the only way, and what is a left or right turn. We have a Yang that is reflecting on who I used to be before the circumstances in my life changed me into who I am now. That it wasn't, I don't want to say weird, but it was like really off-putting to really hear this Yang, because this is the Yang that as a character I fell in love with, but it's weird to hear her talk this way given everything that Volume 4 dragged her through. That through everything from losing her arm to training and learning how to use her new bionic arm, and everything that Tae Yang tried to make her understand about how your logic about straight lines has no logic at all. It isn't sound. And to have this Yang, before we even met her, who is completely relying on her semblance and brute strength and trying to get RWBY to understand that, yo, you got to learn how to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, there are going to be instances where you're not going to have crescent rolls and you're going to be able to put in that work. And we've known that RWBY has been in these situations where she's had to learn to adapt and evolve to her situations. And I'm not saying that this singular event, watching what happened to her sister, really changed her mindset, but it helped her to understand that there is some logic and there is some sense into everything that Yang is talking about. What we have now with that character we see rolling in to Volume 5 is not the same character before we first met her. This character that this reflection is all about hasn't gone through all the trouble, the pain, the strife of loss, and more loss, with some wind scattered in there. But for all it's worth, I'm glad that, again, like I say, that we have something like this, which is a shown reflection of who I used to be versus who I am versus who I ultimately want to be. And that's what I think these character shorts have really been all about, is that you had the training session with Weiss and Winter, trying to get Weiss to really understand, like, what's good with you. And in a reflection moment of her sister, who we haven't seen for real at all in Volume 4, to see that interaction like before who we were. The Blake character short was that too, with her and Ilya, about the friendships and the relationships we build and how those evolve. And like I said in that character short, how that line between friend and foe is razor sharp thin. Because you can be my friend one day, and you could be putting a knife in my back the next second. And it's these things that each of these ladies need to remember about friends and foes, about where I come from, about how straight lines on as straight as you think you are, and how sometimes you gotta make a turn. Sometimes you have to make an adjustment, that barreling through and barreling straight forward isn't always going to get the job done, and in a lot of situations makes things a whole lot worse. Given how Volume 4 ended and the machinations and the play at work, each of these ladies, including Ruby Rose, are going to have to evolve, because I don't know, given that Volume 1 is in the streets right now as I'm saying this, I don't think Ruby is going to get a character short, and personally doesn't need one, because we got a chance to watch her evolve through all the pain, the hurt, and the strife of what happened when things fell. So it's really the question of, and I always say this, is that what they write about us in the history books will never be what happens. It will always be what you do when something happens to you. It's how your fate and how your history will be dictated. Yeah, they'll mention the problem in a sentence or two, but there will be paragraphs and books on the solution. And I really think that that's just where this show is going. That as these four women plot out, course out their destiny, and follow the path that they have chosen, things are going to continue to happen. And you will continually be tested on how you react to those problems as they come to you face to face. Yang is a character who this whole time, before she had to understand that straight lines aren't what they are, barrel straight through. You can't do that anymore. I hope my girl learns some finesse this season. And I mean real finesse. Because that's what it's going to take to truly defeat the enemy. Whether it's the calm from Weiss, the ever-flowing thought process of Blake, or Yang understanding that finesse is what it is, we gonna have problems if these ladies don't learn their lesson, because, those who don't learn their history are doomed to repeat it. It just is what it is. So, I have high hopes for this season. I do, and it's going to be a fun ride with you guys as we take what we have, and I get on the mic every week and spit my heat and venom. I'm ready to go. I've talked about this way longer than I should have, but I really think that before I sit down and watch the first episode, I need to set up the shop of what it is that I'm looking for and expecting as far as character and character growth, and I'll let the plot do the plot. How about that? So, I'm going to turn this into a video. Y'all go ahead and get out of here. Y'all enjoy some RWBY. Y'all go do that. I'll be back on the mic in a minute, and we'll talk about Volume 5, Episode 1. You know who it is. The one and the only, the who, the triple, the G.O.D. And I'd like to thank all of you for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. And with that being said, I'll holler at you guys next time, man. Peace out.